Israel has deployed tanks into the occupied West Bank and ordered its military to prepare for a long-term presence in the region to target Palestinian armed groups. This move is part of an escalating military operation that has already displaced around 40,000 Palestinians over the past month, following a temporary ceasefire in Gaza. The situation has sparked growing concerns, particularly as Israeli hardliners push for full annexation of Palestinian territories. Meanwhile, a controversial proposal from US President Donald Trump to expel everyone living in Gaza has raised fears of a new Nakba, a mass displacement of Palestinians. So, what's happening on the ground? For the first time since 2002, Israel has deployed tanks in the Jenin refugee camp. The military offensive, which began on January 21st, has expanded into other areas, including Kabatia, Burkin, Nur Shams, and parts of Ramla and Hebron. Israeli forces have imposed curfews, blocked roads, arrested civilians, and used Palestinian homes for military purposes. Well, is this legal? In short, no. The International Court of Justice has ruled that Israel must end its occupation immediately, and the United Nations has passed resolutions calling for the same. Under the Oslo Accords, Israel is responsible for ensuring the safety and the rights of Palestinians in the occupied territories. So you might be wondering, why is Israel using tanks now? While Israel frequently conducts raids in the West Bank, deploying tanks signal a more aggressive military approach. Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, has said the move is part of an all-out fight against terrorism. The Palestinian Foreign Ministry, however, describes this as an act of genocide, displacement, and annexation. Well, what's behind this escalation, you may ask? Netanyahu is facing pressure from the far-right members of his government to crack down on armed Palestinian groups while fighting in Gaza and Lebanon remains on hold. His announcement about flattening entire streets in the West Bank also came shortly after a series of bus explosions near Tel Aviv, though no casualties were reported and no group has claimed responsibility. So, are Palestinians being forced out of their homes? Yes. Around 40,000 people have fled from refugee camps. Israel's defense minister has said that troops will stay in parts of the West Bank for at least a year and that displaced residents will not be allowed to return. Is there any help for those who have been expelled? Well, aid is becoming increasingly difficult to access. Israel has forced UN relief workers and agencies for Palestinian refugees like UNRWA, the main provider of aid to Palestinians, to shut down its headquarters in Jerusalem. On Sunday, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant ordered UNRWA to halt activity in West Bank refugee camps. Israel accuses the organization of supporting armed groups and passed a law on the 30th of January banning the agency from operating within Israel. Meanwhile, humanitarian organizations report a severe shortage of food, electricity, and medical supplies. Physicians for Human Rights, or PHR, has accused Israeli forces of obstructing Red Crescent ambulances and delaying the transport of patients in need for medical treatment. You might be wondering, how will this impact the ceasefire in Gaza? Well, the truce between Israel and Hamas in Gaza is already fragile, and the escalating violence in the West Bank could jeopardize it even further. Hamas official Bassem Naim told Al Jazeera that the group sees Israel's actions as Netanyahu intentionally sabotaging the deal and laying the groundwork for a renewed war. On Sunday, Netanyahu said the military has increased its operational readiness around Gaza and it's ready to return to intense fighting at any moment. Well, that's all for now, and for more news, updates, and explainers, stay tuned to DawnNews English.